Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I'm Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. Alright guys, today's content is all about a video clip that I saw on NBC, Chuck Todd on Meet the Press. Now what's interesting here is, this is very, very telling. If you guys have been on this channel for a while, I always read the media outlets, I always watch the news, I watch the little clips, because there's always a bit of truth in what they're saying, and you can read the why behind what they're doing, because they're very transparent if you know what to look for. And that's what I think I've got here. Let me know in the comments below what you think, if I'm onto something, if I'm not, or just what you think of the video, because I love hearing from you guys, especially about this content, because it's so crucial. Now the left, the far left, especially the media, they will always forecast to you what they're afraid of. Always. Think about earlier this year. It was all about attacking Manchin because of the filibuster, and Kirsten Sinema because of the filibuster. Then it went, before that, it was impeaching Trump the second time because cowardly Republicans. Every single time that they make a move, you will know what they're afraid of and their weakness because they forecast it. 100%, it's always happened. My entire life, I've noticed this. It just happens to me on my YouTube channel now. Now, this is big because I personally believe that the gun rights and the gun grab battle that they've been engaging in, the far left gun grab, I think it's going to backfire, and I think it's red pilling a lot of people, and it's waking people up. This is a big deal, guys. And the number one thing before I get going into this, there's always hope. Every single action that you make, every call, every volunteering action you do, every time you talk to somebody about our rights and our given blessings of the Second Amendment, it makes a difference whether you see it now or you see it in 10 years. So don't give up hope, because we're going to make an amazing 2022, because I think it's going to look good. Now, here's what we're going to talk about today. Chuck Todd comes out and says, hey, here's my little segment clip introduction on his panel. So I'm going to do 3 clips. I'm going to watch them, I'm going to analyze them, I'm going to walk you through it, and I want to know what you guys think as well. So check this out. Here's the first one.
During President Biden's first 100 days, it's pretty clear the heart of the GOP is in the state houses. Here's what's happened in these first 100 days. Republican-controlled legislatures in 8 states so far have passed laws that are restricting voter access, including tighter limits on absentee ballots in some places. At the same time, similar bills have been introduced in 39 other states. We don't know the results of those yet. Then there's been some crack.
All right, see that? See how he set it up? He set it up as Republican legislators own all the state houses. Well, yeah, if you've been watching this channel, we talked about that back in January and February, about the fact that the state legislatures, which make all the laws within their individual states, are mostly Republican, because we had an amazing turnout in the 2020 election. Up here was different than down here in the state level. Okay, so he's setting up the boogeyman as the Republicans in the state house. Now that first bill, the first part he brought up, voting, a little misleading. They're taking things back to the laws before COVID. Things like asking for IDs and making sure IDs are on absentee ballots. I'm not going to get into those requirements, but it's not like they're saying certain people can't vote. Okay. Also, did you notice that in the states, that the little map that he showed, all the left states were there too? Illinois, California, New York. If it was so terrible, why would, I don't understand. It doesn't make sense, right? That's the first thing, so it's a little misleading. Now, we're going to go into the next one. Here's the second clip, and you'll start to see a pattern develop here.
Down on protesters. 5 states already have passed bills that limit the rights of protesters. Florida, for instance, actually passed a law that would grant legal immunity to somebody who drove through protesters blocking a road. By the way, 27 other states have already had bills introduced that would also crack down on protests. We don't know those results yet. Next up, there's been...
All right, so again, do you see how they framed that one specifically in Florida example? They said, you can run somebody over, a protester in Florida, and you know, you're not going to have any liability. That's because they walked out in the middle of an interstate highway and they decided to block it, and they got hit by a 70-mile-an-hour vehicle because they were standing in the middle of an interstate highway at 10 p.m. That happened in Atlanta. I saw it live. They're offering protections to people who accidents happen because they could be sued for hitting somebody if they walked out on the road. It's a little different than assaulting rights of individuals to protest, because it's a little misleading at best, okay? Now, this is the part where the red pill begins. Check out what Chuck Todd says about gun rights.
A lot more looser gun laws. 19 states so far this year have passed new laws that loosen gun restrictions, including Tennessee, which now will allow people to carry handguns without seeking a permit. In fact, so far, every state in the country has had bills introduced that would do one thing on the gun issue: loosen restrictions.
All right, did you notice that? So on the voting blocks, or the voting map they showed you, some states were missing. On the protest map, a few more states were missing, and these were the 2 examples they said were terrible things. Then you go on the gun control, gun rights map, and every single state has something. That alone shows you something. There's initiative, there's passion. The Second Amendment is alive and well, especially when you factor in all the new gun owners that have come out in the past year to 2 years, not to mention the individual state legislatures that are seriously driving this forward. We are not alone on this, and they're telling you what they're afraid of. They're afraid that because the federal level can't get anything done because the system is in place, Constitution protects our rights. That's the entire point of the document, was to restrain the government so they could not subjugate us. A little hat tip to the whoop, whoop, people who wrote that bad boy. But the state legislatures are where they get in trouble because they lose individual power, which has been the left's game for years. But now the right is going, oh, hold on a second, time out. Let's use your own tricks against you. And that's what they're showing you they're afraid of. Now, this last one here, and that to me, by the way, before I go to the next one, that to me is huge. I honestly think the gun control debate is blowing open all the other debates, right? Personally, I think it's bringing a lot of people to the conservative side of that argument for the Second Amendment. Now, to give credence to this argument, they brought in a expert, Claire McCaskill. You guys know who Claire McCaskill is? If you're a little bit older, you probably do. It's a Democrat senator from Missouri. If you're a little bit younger, you didn't miss much, okay? Basically, this is a Democratic senator who was in the Senate during Obama's term, and let's just say I'm glad she's gone, but check out what she had to say.
Where's this headed? Where do you think this is going in other states?
I have to believe it's not good for the Republican Party because they have become simply the party of grievance. It is all about culture wars. It's not about the budget. It's about the border. It's about playing to people's fears and making that the centerpiece of who they are as a party.
Holy crap. Like when I first saw this, I was like, whoa! Okay, a few things I'm going to say on this part of the clip. First, if someone who's your opponent on a field of battle, especially a battlefield of ideas, in a ideological conversation, they probably don't have their best interest at heart. So when they say, well, Republicans should try to do this, like, okay, that's cute. You keep that over there. That's the first thing I noticed. The second thing, Republicans are fear-mongering and we're a party of fear. We don't care about passing a budget. We only care about immigration and things that are emotional. Obama didn't pass a budget literally every single year of his presidency. First president in history not to do that. Democrat. She was there when it didn't happen. This is the idea, guys. They are expecting you to just go, oh, well, that's not cool. The right is engaging in the battle of culture wars. You guys been around the last 4 years? She was actually involved in all of this from the Senate as a sitting senator. But, you know, the right is involved in culture wars. That's why we're always trying to change the culture. What? Okay, anybody with eyes can see through this, okay? Now, the big thing here, guys, I'm going to wrap this all up, and I want to know what you guys think. We are making moves. They would not waste their airtime on these type of hit pieces if they weren't afraid of what was happening on the state levels. And that's the point I want to bring to you. Honestly, I believe this is changing a lot of people's minds in a lot of different areas, and this goes very well into 2022. 2022, I know it's hard to get into the mode to get out and vote and find the motivation, but we have to do it. This is going to be something we're going to focus on this channel a lot, especially next year. But right now, guys, start getting mentally prepared. Get people on onto your ideas. Talk to people. Because every moment, every step, every instance that you take has a tremendous impact, whether you know it or you don't. And that's incredibly important. 6 years ago, I started a YouTube channel with 0 subscribers. We're almost at 300,000 subscribers. I had no idea this was going to go this way. I'm hell glad it is, because I love being here with you guys. But that's a good example. Every single thing that you guys do is for your rights, for your country, and I'm damn proud to be here with you. And until tomorrow, I'm Braden. See you later.